honestly, this was a pretty strange week for me. It's not that it was a bad week of sales necessarily, but I just found myself making some weird rookie mistakes that someone who's been reselling for as long as I have should not be making at this point. And it actually made me lose some money on some sales. So, there were some good sales in there too. I'm going to share all of them with you. Stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body treatments for your neck.
Hi everyone, my name is Becky Park and I'm a part-time reseller on a bunch of different reselling platforms that you're going to hear about today, including a brand new platform that I finally had my first sale on. I do one of these videos every single week, just sharing with you the good and the bad, what sold on each platform, how much I paid for each item, how much profit I made, etc., etc. And if you enjoy those kinds of videos and want to see more reselling content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But in today's video, like I said, I'll be sharing with you what sold. And this is kind of a cool video because in the last few days of January and the 1st of February, I actually did a Poshmark selling competition with two people who took my course on how to grow your reselling YouTube channel. And those two people are Heather from Hot Posh Fashions and Chloe from the Cuberly, I never know if I'm saying it right, but the Cuberly Chaos YouTube channel. So I will have both of those channels linked down below. They're both a ton of fun, lots of energy, and I don't know how they did. I don't know how much money they made in that time frame on Poshmark. So I'll share with you, how much I made once we get to the end of that time frame. You can watch their videos and we'll see who won. I probably did not. It was not that amazing for me. But we're going to start by talking about Monday, which was January 31st. The last day of January, and kind of like in the middle of when this challenge or competition was, if you will. So on Poshmark, I did have a pretty good sale, and it was this pair of Coach Geneva Coral Rattan striped ankle strap open toe wedges in a size 6. I picked this up at a Goodwill, I believe, where my husband's parents live, so my in-laws. I think that's the Goodwill that we got it at. But I sold these for $63 with discounted shipping. That was a Posher VA sale. Posher VA is a Chrome extension that I use, and they send out offers for me automatically. And so they sent out an offer on this pair of shoes 4 minutes after someone liked it. They accepted, and so I made the sale. I only had $4.92 into those. I believe that was my average cost of goods for that trip. So my profit on those really cool sandals, I thought they were really, really nice, was $43.02. Not a bad way to start the week. And there, like I said, there are a couple really, really great sales. Also some stinkers coming up very soon. The next thing to sell was this London Fog gray wool blend long peacoat in a men's size 40R. This I picked up a long time ago, over a year and a half ago. We're almost getting to 2 years. I picked it up when I did a big bulk buy at a local consignment store when we were in the height of COVID. Everyone was quarantining. No one was seeing anyone. But it was really cool because I was able to go into their storage unit by myself and shop, and I got a really good price on everything because they weren't able to open their doors. And so my average cost of goods for that trip was 80 cents a piece for clothing items. So I only had 80 cents into this, but I've had it for almost 2 years. It sold for $30. I believe that was an offer that she sent to me. So I accepted and I made a profit of $23.20, which is decent profit, but it just took too long for me to get it. It sat around forever. So I don't know, these kind of long peacoat, trench coat type things, they are not quick sells. So even if you can pick them up for super, super cheap, just be prepared to sit on them for quite some time. Okay, so we're going to get right into sales where I just lost money. So this item was this new with tags, mind you, J.D. Marie Infinity Knit Scarf. I've never heard of the brand J.D. Marie. The only reason I picked this up is because it was at that local consignment store where I was shopping by myself in their storage unit, and I knew I was getting stuff for super cheap. This was new with tags, but it did have a flaw. It was knit, and there was a piece of the yarn that was kind of sticking out, it had been kind of pulled. I couldn't really do anything about it. It's not like it was worth that much to begin with, so I didn't really bother. This has been on quite a journey as well. I believe I sent it into ThreadUp. They accepted it. They weren't able to sell it. It came back to me. I just went ahead and listed it. It was listed forever, and so finally I decided to just put it out to auction starting at 99 cents on eBay. Well, a got the one bid and that was it. I did have the buyer pay for shipping. I mean, I charged $4 for shipping and it only cost $3.88 to ship out because this was really, really lightweight. But I had 80 cents into it, and after all was said and done, after you factor in eBay's fees and my cost of goods, I made negative 34 cents. So that was my first sale where I actually lost money. Did I lose a ton? No. But does it still suck? Yeah, it does. It does. Just because something is new with tags does not mean that you need to pick it up, even if you are barely paying anything for it. Chances are, if it's not a good brand, it doesn't matter if it's new with tags, you're still going to get almost nothing for it. Maybe even lose money on it, and worse than that, you're going to lose a ton of time and energy on the piece. So, bleh. Lesson learned. The next thing to sell on eBay was a little bit better of a sale. It was this new with tags Nike Dry Fit Las Vegas Raiders NFL black polo shirt in a size small. I think that they used to be somewhere else before Las Vegas. I don't remember where. Actually, my eBay friend Ricardo messaged me about this shirt and was like, you should put the name of the city if you have enough characters that the Raiders used to be in. Again, I don't remember which city because some sports I just care nothing about, football being one of them, but it still sold for $27, which I believe was an offer, or I think someone messaged me and was like, can you please let me buy this for $27? And I was like, sure, you sure can. It was promoted at 3%. I only had $1.02 into it because it is something that I purchased from a local reseller when I bought out her inventory, and so my average cost of goods was $1.02, and so I made a profit of $21.87. That is kind of the opposite of the last sale. This was new with tags, but it's Nike. It's a sports team that I guess people care about. There's a lot of things going for it. Random infinity scarf by a no-name brand, not worth it. And then moving on to Tuesday, which was February 1st, this was the last day of the competition that I was doing with Heather and Chloe. Now, the way that we were supposed to do it, it was supposed to be like we ran a Poshmark sale and then we just tried to see who made the most at the end of that time period. I didn't really run any sort of sale until this Tuesday, and Tuesdays are traditionally not like the best days to run a sale, and by run a sale, all I really did was like a mass offers to likers using the new, like mass offers to likers feature on Poshmark, which is a great feature that they came out with, by the way, bulk offers to likers. You can select them in bulk, and then you just say how much you want your discount to be. So I think that I did a bunch of like newer items and I'd sent out like 20% off offers, and then some old items that I was like, I don't care about this anymore. I think I sent out like 30% off offers. I didn't make a ton of sales, but I made a handful. So the first thing to sell as a result of me sending out, offers to likers in bulk was this Zara Ivory open knit, cable knit mock neck sweater. It was a pretty cool piece. It has been listed for I don't know, maybe close to 8 months at this point. It sold for $26. I had $1.81 into it because I got it from the same consignment store where I did the big bulk buy, but not at that time. I went back maybe a few months after they opened and they still gave me a really great deal. Not the same deal, but like a really great deal. So I only had $1.81 into this. I don't remember what the discount was that I sent out on this, probably only the 20% and with $1.50 off of shipping. So I did make a profit of $17.49 off of that. The next thing to sell was this pair of 9 West Observe Tan Dior Safe Flats in a size 10. Those I sold for $17, again with discounted shipping because of my bulk offers to likers. I had $5 into those. Why? Why did I think that was a ThredUp shoe. Because I would never have picked those up for $5 myself. Never would I go into a thrift store and spend $5 on 9 West flats. No. But I made a profit of $7.10. So there you go. The next thing to sell was this Nike Dry Fit gray funnel neck hoodie pullover sweatshirt in a men's size small. This sold for $20. That was an offer that I got. And I only had $1.02 into that one as well because it was also part of that inventory buyout I did from a local reseller. So I made a profit of $14.98. And that one was only listed for a week or two, so that was a really quick flip. The next item to sell was also from the inventory buyout, and it was this Kate Spade Saturday geometric apron strappy sleeve A-line dress in a size 8. This was So cute, like so stinking cute. Kate Spade's Saturday is Kate Spade's diffusion line, so it's not, as nice as just like regular Kate Spade. But regardless, it sold for $48 with discounted shipping. That was a result of my bulk offers to likers sale that I ran. Again, I only had $1.02 into this, so I still made a profit of $35.88. It sold pretty quick. I think it was listed under a month. I get really excited when I see Kate Spade, even if it's Kate Spade Saturday, because it's just not a brand that I see very often. So really excited about that sale. So that was the end of the Poshmark selling competition that I was doing with those two girls. And at the end of that time, I ended up with a profit. So, after Poshmark's 20% fees and after my cost of goods, I ended up with a profit of $250.02 from Poshmark sales in those 4 or 5 days or something like that. I don't know how they did. I guess you'll have to let me know if you watch their videos first, but someone won, 2 people lost. I'm assuming a loss because I don't know. I don't feel like I sold that much stuff. And if you want to see what sold for me on the 29th and 30th, you can check out last week's What Sold video because those sales are mentioned in that video. And like I said, make sure that you check out their videos. I'll have them linked down below. And then on Mercari, I made a couple sales. The first one being this new in the box Capelli black embossed studded shaft jelly rain boots in a size 8. My mother-in-law just gave these to me for free because she had gotten them for free from a friend who just gifted them to her. I don't know. She kept giving me things the last time we went to visit them. And she was like, I got this for free and this for free. And I was like, oh my gosh, people just keep giving you stuff. And she doesn't wear most of it. So she just gives it to me to resell. So these only retailed for $35 at Marshall's or something like that. And I think that's what I listed them for was $35. I got a $25 offer on these. I was more than happy to accept that. So I made a profit of $21.47 on Mercari. The next thing to sell was this Pop Icon clothing, which is a brand that is sometimes sold through Buckle, I guess. And it was this cross patch pearl snap button-up shirt in a size extra large for men. This is something that I got in that inventory buyout. There was a lot of stuff from Buckle, a lot of Affliction, that kind of stuff. This sold for $15. I only had $1.02 into it, so I made a profit of $11.74. This I only had listed, again, maybe for 2 weeks or something like that. Affliction, Pop Icon clothing, Buckle. It's not my aesthetic. It is not what I personally wear. But man, there's a following. People will buy that stuff and for some of the pieces pay good money. So if you see it for real cheap, if you're at the bins or something like that, I think it's worth picking up if you're okay with flipping stuff for $15 to $25. I mean, it moves and I have more of it than I ever had before because of this buyout. And I'm telling you, it's moving. Case in point, Wednesday, February 2nd, the first sale on Poshmark was this Affliction skull graphic burnout reversible t-shirt in a men's size large. I didn't know that these shirts were reversible, but when I was doing the haul of the stuff that I got in this inventory buyout, one of you, a viewer, let me know in the comments that a lot of times those shirts are reversible. And this one indeed was when I checked it. So thank you for that tip. This sold for $25. I think I had it listed for $35, but she and I kind of went back and forth, landed on $25. I had $1.02 into that one. So I made a profit of $18.98 on that. And again, listed for 2-3 weeks, maybe. It was a pretty quick flip. The next thing to sell was this Eileen Fisher 2-piece pink knit tank set in a medium petite. This sold for $40. I had about $5 into it. I think I picked it up at a local consignment store. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I made a profit of $27. It was listed for quite some time, I want to say maybe half a year. And I'm kind of surprised it sold on Poshmark because it's a pretty mature piece. It's literally a shell and a cardigan and something that maybe, some women would wear to work or something like that. Not expecting it to sell on Poshmark, but that's why I cross-list everything everywhere that it's applicable because you just don't know. Sometimes you're pleasantly surprised. The next thing to sell was this pair of Leo black vegan leather lace-up tap shoes in a size 11.5 youth. This is another thing that I got at the big bulk buy that I did at that local consignment store. So I had $1.81 into these because my average cost of goods for shoes was $1.81. And so I sold these for $17. And after Poshmark's fees and my cost of goods, my profit was $11.79 on those. I have had these for way too long, close to 2 years. But I don't know why, I just get such a kick out of selling things like, dance shoes and stuff for kids. It just makes me really excited to think about someone starting a new activity and maybe finding a new passion. And I don't know, there's just something about that I love. So even though I've had these for way too long, I was really excited sending these out to them. The next thing to sell was my one and only Facebook Marketplace sale of the week. It was this Ducks Unlimited black full zip collared vest in a men's size extra large. This sold for $25, which was, my full asking price. I did get that from the inventory buyout, so I only had $1.02 into it. So my profit on that was $22.32. Ducks Unlimited is kind of an outdoorsy brand. It's not very well known, and this is only my second time selling something by the brand. The other thing that I sold by this brand was a pair of duck boots, which I guess makes sense given the name of the brand. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like because the brand just isn't as well known, it does tend to sit. I mean, I guess this vest sold maybe within like a month or something, but it wasn't like it was getting a lot of interest on other platforms. I was very shocked when it did finally sell on Facebook Marketplace. If you find it at the bins or something, maybe it's worth picking up, but just expect to kind of sit on the item for a while. And then on Thursday, which was February 3rd, I had one sale, and it was this Chico's turquoise t-shirt in like a burnout print. It was a maxi dress in a size 8. This sold for $25, which I think was my full asking price. I had $1 into it because I got it at a local consignment store when a certain color tag was $1, and so I made a profit of $19 on that. I did make a video not too long ago where I talk about certain bread and butter brands that you can sell consistently for that like $25 mark. Chico's was on that brand, and it depends. It's not like all Chico's pieces will sell for $25, right? But there are certain things that will. Chico's is a brand that, a lot of people sleep on that I think has some value, and you can make some serious money. You just have to know what to pick up. So definitely check out that video if you want to learn what kinds of Chico's pieces you should be picking up, and I'll have it linked down below in the description. The next day of sales that we'll talk about is February 4th, which is a Friday. The first thing to sell on Poshmark was this pair of Olukai, don't know how to say Olukai. I'm going to go with Olukai. Kiawe, again, don't know how to say the style name. Gray suede lace-up Oxfords in a women's size 11. Y'all know, if you've been watching my channel, I have been selling so many women's shoes in sizes 10 and 11 lately because I know it's a hard size for women to find. I actually worked at a retail store for a couple years. Was it maybe like a year and a half. And I remember like when we got in a shipment of shoes, there would be one pair in a size 10. And it always sold within like the first day because a lot of people wear size 10, but there just were never more than one pair in any given shipment. There'd be like 5 size 6s and 8 size 7s, but one size 10. So for that reason, if you find size 10, size 11 shoes at your local thrift or consignment store or wherever it is that you source, if it's a decent brand, I would pick it up because people have a hard time finding shoes in that size. So these sold for $42 with discounted shipping. Thank you, Posher VA. I do have a coupon code down in the description below if you want to try out Posher VA yourself, if you don't want to share your closet, and if you don't want to have to send out offers to likers yourself. I do have that coupon code, and you can save 20% off of your first payment, I believe, and I get a little kickback as well. But yeah, that was a Posher VA sale. I had $14.99 into those because this is a really great brand. It does usually sell for at least that $40 to $50 mark, and so I still made a profit of $16.15, which may not be a ton, but they were not listed for very long, and they were a really great style. The next thing to sell was this Talbot's, another brand on that list of bread and butter brands that you should be picking up because you can consistently sell them for around that $25 mark. This was a blue paisley sleeveless sheath dress in a size 4 petite. It was beautiful. It sold for $31. That was an offer that I got from someone, and I had $4.92 into it. That was my average cost of goods from a local consignment store, and so I made a profit of $19.88 on that dress. I do think that that one was listed for maybe a couple months, but I didn't have it for too long, and it was a pretty good sale. Moving on to Saturday, which was February 5th, I had some really, really great Poshmark sales. Okay, this first one was not really great, but it was decent. It was this Ralph Lauren short sleeve dress and bloomer set for like infant size 6 to 9 months. This is actually something that my daughter wore, and I was so happy to list it and sell it. It sold for $15, and so I made a profit of $12. However, when I went to ship it out, I pulled it from my inventory system and took it out of the bag, and I noticed that there was a small hole on the front. So I reached out to the buyer, let her know, and I said, look, like we can obviously cancel, or I can send like a couple dollars in the package with the item. And she went down that route. So I think I sent like $3 with the item or something like that. So really my profit on that was only $9, which is still something really great for something that my kid wore and it had a hole in it. I'll take that any day. The next thing to sell was this Woolrich blue plaid button-up flannel button-up shirt in a size extra, extra large. Why did I write button up so many times? I don't know. This sold for $25, and this is something that I got at the Goodwill outlet in Indianapolis not too long ago. I had $1.27 into that. That was my average cost of goods for that trip, so I made a profit of $18.73. I do really like Woolrich as a brand. It doesn't have as high of a resale value as something like Patagonia, which I think is a pretty comparable brand in terms of quality, but it's just not as desirable. It's just not as popular as Patagonia right now. So it doesn't sell for as much, but it is really, high quality clothing. The next thing to sell was a Patagonia piece. It was this forge gray woolister. I guess that's like a name that they gave for this fabric. Cool, Patagonia. I don't know. It was this quarter zip pullover. I picked this up at a Goodwill where my in-laws live. We went during, I think it was like winter break, and we went first thing in the morning, like right when it opened. So they had all these racks out of brand new inventory, like so many racks. I want to say there was like at least 15 racks of brand new inventory that they were slowly getting out onto the racks. And I was so excited because that's where the good stuff is, because no one's looked through it yet. So I prioritized those new racks first. I went through them as quickly as I could. And this was one of my first finds of the day. I knew it was going to be a really good day. I had it listed pretty high, like around $90. But, probably within a week or two of it being listed, I got an offer of $76, which I felt like was really fair. I had $9.99 into it. I'm so shocked they didn't price it up any higher than that. So I made a profit of $50.81 on that. I love flipping Patagonia. I don't find it very often, and I especially don't find the newer stuff very often, but this was a very, very exciting find and a really great flip. The next thing to sell was a bundle. It was a 2-piece bundle. The first item being this vintage petite sophisticate. Do you remember that store? Midi denim skirt in a size 4. That is something that my mother-in-law gave to me a long time ago because she doesn't wear it anymore. I mean, this is like, it screams 90s. It's crazy. The next thing to sell was this Nike dry fit gray attack training shorts in a size small. Those, I think my sister-in-law gave to me for free. So someone, I think, put both items in a bundle, or they liked the two items. I don't really remember exactly how that went down. But basically, I sent them an offer of $35 with discounted shipping on those items. They accepted, and I made a profit of $25.54. Yeah, I mean, those were two pieces that I was like, I'm going to have these for a very long time. So I was very pleasantly surprised when they sold when they did. The next thing to sell was over on eBay, and it was this Free People Rainbow Dreams Arizona Sands balloon sleeve top in a size extra small. That sold on eBay for $34.99, which was my full asking price. However, I did have free shipping on that, which I'm like shocked by. I don't do free shipping, so I don't know what happened there. So I still made a profit of $24.72 because that's actually something that I purchased off of Kitizen actually sometime last year for myself, and I did wear it a few times. I just did not like how it fit. I didn't like how it looked on me, so I just went ahead and listed it and made probably the majority of my money back actually, which is pretty exciting. The next thing to sell was this new with tags Eliza J black lace bodice crepe jumpsuit in a size 18W. This is a really cool piece. It was in a bigger size, which I was really excited about because I do like to try to find as much plus size, clothing as possible because I want to be inclusive of all body types and sizes. And I know a lot of plus size people have a hard time finding cute clothes. This I thought was beautiful. It'd be perfect for like weddings or parties or, formal events. I listed it for $49.99, kind of assuming that I'd have to sit on it for a little bit just because there were a few of these listed and there were some that had sold for not nearly as much, but because mine was the only one in its size and it was new with tags, tags. I just went ahead and listed it for $49.99 and it sold within like a week. So, trust your gut when it comes to pricing, even if you feel like, I don't know, like I feel like this is a little bit high. If it's because of the fact that yours is the only one in that size, or, whatever your reasoning for it is, trust your gut. Your gut could be wrong. Maybe 2 years pass and you're still sitting on the thing. Like, your gut was wrong, but chances are maybe your gut is telling you something that you should be listening to. So I'm very glad I priced the way that I did. I had, $12.99 into this. I did get this at the Goodwill where my in-laws live, not on one of the new racks. It was just in the dress section, had probably been looked over many, many times. And I made a profit of $37.69 on that. The next thing to sell was over on Mercari, and it was this pair of Keen fire print waterproof hiking sandals in a size 3 youth. I've never seen Keens with this kind of print on them before. In fact, Keens just usually aren't printed because they're usually made of not a fabric, but like a canvas upper. These were kind of rubbery, kind of like, like what Crocs are made out of or something like that. And they had this crazy fire print. I picked them up at a local thrift store for $5.99. They sold for $28 on Mercari, so my profit was $18.10. Keen is definitely one of my favorite bread and butter shoe brands, and I will have a video coming out soon on my favorite bread and butter shoe brands, and you can bet your booty that Keen is going to be on that list, but it just never fails. It always sells pretty quickly and for a pretty decent amount every time. The next thing to sell, I'm such a liar. I said I only had one Facebook Marketplace sale, but I had more. This is my second Facebook Marketplace sale of the week, and it was this Polo Ralph Lauren black graphic short sleeve t-shirt in a size 2T. This sold for $8.40, and that's because I was running some sort of sale. I made a profit of $7.74 because that is something that my son wore, and then I listed it and made some money on it. Moving on to the last day of sales that we're going to talk about in this video. On Sunday, which was February 6th, I sold on a ton of different platforms, and that's because of List Perfectly. You guys know that I love List Perfectly. It is the software that I use to cross-list on all the different platforms that I sell on, and it's also the software that I use to act as my inventory management system. It's how I keep track of where I sourced everything, how much I paid for everything, where everything is listed, all that good stuff. So if you want to learn more about how to use List Perfectly as your inventory management system, I'll link a video right here, and I'll have that down in the description too. But also, if you just want to try out List Perfectly yourself, I do have a coupon code down in the description below. It's Becky Park, and it allows you to save 30% off of your first month, and I get a little bit of a kickback as well whenever you use my code. So if you've been trying to get onto other platforms, or you are already cross-listing but you're doing it manually, this will save you so much time, and like I said, you can use this to keep track of all of your inventory. I love it. So on Poshmark, I sold this bundle of 3 items to a viewer, and I did not get to write down the viewer's name, so I will put it right here. Thank you so much. And I think it was her very first Poshmark purchase, so doubly thank you for entrusting me to be your first purchase. I can't tell you how honored I was. So the first thing to sell was this pair of Indigo Road or Cocoa, that was the style name, brown woven platform sandal heels in a size 8.5B. Those I had $6 into because they came in one of my very first thread-up shoe rescue boxes. I think this is from when they still used to do the 50 pair boxes. That was a long time ago. So I've had these for a very long time, but I did very recently relist them, which is why I think they sold. The next thing to sell was this genuine merchandise Chicago Cubs shoulder bag or lunch bag type situation. I got this at the Indianapolis Goodwill outlet as well. So I had $1.66 into this. Chicago Cubs fans are crazy. They love the Chicago Cubs. And so, anytime I find any sort of Chicago Cubs stuff, I will pick it up because I know that it'll sell. The next thing to sell was this loft beige linen blend belted high-rise casual pants in a size 14. These I had $1.02 into because they were part of that inventory buyout. So in total, I had $8.68 into those 3 pieces. This bundle sold for $50, and so I made a profit of $31.32. So thank you again for making this purchase from me, and I hope you love everything. The next thing to sell on Poshmark was another bundle. The first item was this Aritzia Wilfred Free wool blend striped sweater in a size extra, extra small. You guys, I'm so tired and just not able to say words right now, so I'm so sorry. But This was something that just showed up in my, I don't know where this is from. Like, obviously I probably picked it up somewhere. I did have a feeling that maybe it like had shrunk in the wash or something. I feel like Aritzia sweaters are notorious for being shrunk in the wash on accident. People just throw them in there. And a lot of them are made of like a wool blend, and you're not supposed to put wool in the dryer, but people do, and then they shrink up, right? So this wasn't like completely shrunk up or shrinked up or shrink. What's the past tense of shrink? Shrunk? Shrunk? I don't know. Whatever. But it looked a little funky. So that's why I took measurements, and I think I put in there like, this is cropped and I don't know if it's supposed to be. So I put all that information. Regardless, a case got opened up on me, which I don't care, like, if it goes through, that's fine. Like, I hate it when people are stuck with things that they aren't going to be able to wear. However, I don't know that she's going to win this case, because she literally just took a picture of her floor, and that was the picture for the case. Like, I think when you open a case on Poshmark, they make you submit pictures of what the issue is. She did not. She just took a picture of her floor. So I wonder what Poshmark's going to do. I chose not to respond because I don't want to. I don't care what their verdict is. Like, if they want to approve it, that's fine. But if the case does get approved and if this bundle gets returned to me, the only reason I will be upset is because I was so excited to get rid of the second piece in this bundle, which was this pair of Forever 21 yellow distressed cutoff shorts in a size 26. These I remember picking up. Like, I still remember it like it was yesterday. I was at a Goodwill and I was like, I need to stock up on shorts because people are going to be buying shorts and they're just going to buy anything as long as it's cute and it's shorts. And I came across these Forever 21 yellow cutoff shorts and was like, yes, I should pay $4 for these. Put them in my cart, took them home, listed them, was like genuinely concerned and surprised when they didn't sell within the first couple days. And here we are, like probably 3 years later, shorts just sold, and they might be getting returned to me. If they do, I'm just going to donate them. Like, I'm done. I'm just going to donate these. I'm not going to go through the trouble of like relisting, like, no. So hopefully the case does not get resolved in her favor, just for the fact that I don't want these shorts back in my life. I also don't want that sweater back in my life, but I really don't want to see these shorts again. If they come back, they come back, and it's fine. Everything will just get donated. But let's pretend that the sale is good. It goes through. It was a $27 bundle sale. I had $4 into it because of those blasted shorts, so I made a profit of $17.60. Maybe. We'll see. The next thing to sell was the saving grace of the week. However, I don't think that it counts, and I'll explain to you why. I sold another MacBook. I talked about a MacBook sale that I had a couple weeks ago. It was my personal MacBook that I used for about a year and a half to edit videos and, just do any reseller related stuff. But I recently upgraded. This was my husband's MacBook. This is an older MacBook. This is from 2017, but he went ahead and listed it as well so that he could upgrade his laptop. And we kind of thought like maybe this wouldn't sell for very much, and we thought maybe this one we would just do Apple trade-in or something. But it was a 13-inch MacBook Air, again from 2017, 8GB RAM, 128GB SSD, Intel Core i5. I don't know what any of this means, you guys. I had it listed for $500 because our lowest was $400, and because I wanted to be able to, send out offers using Poshmark VA and not have to worry about going below what we were comfortable. I got so many offers on this for like $200, $300. And my husband was like, just wait. He was like, I don't even need to sell this. Like, I can just keep using it, or, we can wait till our kids are older and they can use this. Like, it still works really well. It's just, a little bit older, and he got a new one. So he really kind of forced me to sit tight and wait for the right buyer to come along. And truth be told, I don't even know that, it was listed for much longer than a month. But this Sunday, someone liked the item. Poshmark VA sent them an offer of 15% off with discounted shipping. They accepted. The offer was for $425, and so I made a profit of $337.54. Probably the day before, somebody bought this at my full asking price of $500 and then canceled right away. So I don't know what happened there. It was like an accidental purchase maybe. So I was bummed. But then, it still sold the next day. So I was very happy about that. And probably 2 days earlier, someone basically was like yelling at me over Poshmark. She sent me a $250 offer. I countered with like, 400 or something. And she countered back with $275. And she's like, this is being sold online for $300. And I'm like, then you should buy it for $300 wherever you're finding it. And she's like, or you should lower the price and not overcharge. And I'm like, well, the thing is, it's my item. I get to price it however I want. And we're not in a rush to sell this. And she just kept saying, like, you're not going to be able to get this price for it. Like, it's just priced too high. People have it priced for $300. And I was like, then go get it for $300. Like, why do you keep bothering me about this when mine is priced $200 more than the $300 one that you saw? So obviously, like, either she didn't see it for that price or they were priced at $300 for a reason. Like, there was something wrong with them, or you know what I mean? So stick to your guns. That's what I'm trying to say. Stick to your guns. If you're not super motivated to sell something and you can wait on it and you have it priced kind of high, that's your prerogative. It's fine. That's what we did for this item. It worked out. I'm not saying that you should do that if you're like really needing cash or if you've got like a pair of loft jeans. Like, that's not the time to be like, I can price this however I want. And, like if you can get it cheaper somewhere else, get it cheaper somewhere else. They will and they can. But, we were fine with the idea of like having this listed for like 2 or 3 years and just letting our kids use it or, us using it or just having it there as a backup in case something happened to one of our computers. We were in no rush and I'm glad because as a result, we were able to sell it for a really good amount and make some great money on that. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if it counts because it is a MacBook that we used and we're obviously not making back the amount that we spent on it. But on that topic of just, do these things count when you're filing your taxes and all that kind of stuff, I'm actually going to be going live with my friend Day on Wednesday, February 16th, and we're going to be answering all of your questions about taxes. So actually, if you have any questions, you can even leave them down in the comments below. I'll have like a post in my community tab on YouTube as well. But yeah, we're just going to talk about things like this. Like if you sell something that you bought a long time ago and you make some money on it, but not nearly enough to cover, what its retail price was. Is that something that you say you profited off of? Like, how does that work come tax time? All that kind of stuff. Any kind of tax question that you have, he can help you answer. I'll just be there for like moral support, I guess. I don't know. But make sure that you come hang out with us on Wednesday. I'd love to see you there. But yeah, I'll kind of give you my totals at the end of the video with the profit from that sale and without. But moving on to eBay. On eBay, this is the second time that I lost money on a sale this week because I'm an idiot. Like, my God, why did I do this? So again, this was something that I put out to auction. It was this new with tags champion compression football jersey in a size medium. You guys, I've had this for 3 years. At least 3 years this has been listed. I picked it up at a local Salvation Army that isn't even here anymore. Like, it's gone. It doesn't exist. I remember going to Salvation Army this time and they had all this stuff that was new with tags. Some of it was like sample items and it was all like athletic gear. So it was like, like football jerseys. They had like workout tanks. They had all this kind of stuff. All of it was new with tags, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess it had like the Nike tag or like the Adidas tag or whatever. But at that time, I was still so new to reselling that I didn't really know what I was seeing. I thought I was just seeing, really great product, new with tags, and I believe everything was priced at that time around like $3, like $3 to $5. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm getting a steal. This stuff probably retailed for so much. And I thought the sample thing was really cool because in fashion, sometimes you'll see sample pieces, which means a designer made the item and, maybe even tested it out on models or did some pictures with the item. And maybe the item did eventually go into production or maybe not. Maybe it was an item that was created and, everyone kind of decided, let's not mass produce this one. So sample items can be really cool to come across. That wasn't the case with this. I think what happened here was a local athletic store went out of business, and I think the Salvation Army bought, a bunch of stuff from them, probably like wholesale pricing. And I think that this local athletic store would make jerseys for like local football teams or soccer teams, that sort of thing. So it's not what I thought it was. I bought a ton of it. And I mean, most of it sold. This is one of the last pieces from that haul where I bought a bunch of, blank like athletic stuff. So yeah, I had about $3 into this. I put it out to auction for $4.99. It got the one bid. My mistake was having free shipping on it. Why did I have free shipping on this when I'm starting the bid at $4.99? Clearly, I didn't know it had free shipping when I put it out to auction. So what happened was I lost $3.64 on this sale. Not the end of the world, but I mean, when people say that they would literally pay someone to get something out of their life, that's what I did here. I paid someone to take this out of my hands. Lord have mercy. The next thing to sell was over on Mercari, and it was this pair of new without tags, Dansko Buffy black ruched heeled ankle booties in a size 7.5. These sold for $51, which was pretty solid. I think I had them listed really high though, like at $90 or something like that. I had $7.99 into them from a local thrift store, and so I made a profit of $36.13. On Facebook Marketplace, I sold this new with tags Vineyard Vines Fairway golf shorts. They were in like a mint green color, men's size 40. They sold for $30.10 because I was running a sale. They were part of that big inventory buyout that I did from the local reseller. So I only had $1.02 into those. And so my profit was $27.11. I actually recently went through Facebook Marketplace and relisted everything because they make it really easy. You can kind of do it like 20 listings at a time or something if you do it from your laptop or computer. You just press a button that says like, do you want to relist these 20 items? And you say yes, and they like delete and relist for you. It's actually very, very nice. And as a result, I've been making, more Facebook Marketplace sales than normal. And then I ended the week with my very first Depop sale. I've been listing over there pretty consistently now for about a month, and I was so excited when I finally made the sale. It was this pair of GBX brown leather San Antonio lace-up ankle boots in a size 8.5. Don't know anything about this brand. I actually very much regretted picking them up because when I got them home, they smelled so strongly of smoke. So much so that they really gave me a headache every time I was around them. So I like sprayed them down with this like disinfectant spray, put them out in my garage so they could kind of air out. And I did put in the listing that they did have a little bit of a, smoke scent to them. I had them listed for $50. They were very heavy duty. I think they were waterproof. They just looked really nice, and comps on them were pretty good. I picked them up, when I went sourcing in the town where my in-laws live. So someone reached out and was like, would you take $40 for these? And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. Please buy them. Please be my first Depop sale. And so I dropped the price to $40. She bought them and I was ecstatic. So the way that it works on Depop is if you are going to charge for shipping, which I have since learned is kind of a no-no. I guess Depop is really known for free shipping, which means you build the cost of shipping into the price of your item. But if you charge for shipping the way that I did, they pay the amount of shipping and for the item up front, and then you just get that money, but you have to pay for shipping on your end somehow. So I just use Pirate Ship, and then you just upload the tracking number into Depop. So I had $9.99 into these, and after shipping and after my cost of goods, my profit on those boots was $27.48. And they did sell, probably within 3 weeks of being listed. They just gave me a headache because they smelled so strongly of smoke. I cannot handle that smell. So let's talk about my numbers for the week. On Poshmark, I sold 23 items, and that was for a gross sales amount of $1,037. That is because of that Apple MacBook, but also, a few other really great sales. Once you factor in shipping discounts and Poshmark's fees, that total drops to $815.26. My cost of goods was $70.25 on those 23 items, and so my net profit on Poshmark was $745.01. If you don't want to count the sale of that MacBook, then that total drops to like, what is it? probably like $410-ish or something like that. On eBay, I only sold 5 items. I don't know about you guys, but eBay has been kind of a struggle for me lately. Like, I've just not been making very many sales over there. So I only had a gross sales amount of $117.96. Once you factor in eBay's fees and shipping and all that kind of stuff, that total drops to $87.31. My cost of goods for those 5 items was $17.81. And so I made a net profit on eBay of $69.50. That's pretty sad. On Mercari, I sold 4 items for a gross sales amount of $119. That's more than I made on eBay. Rarely happens. It's usually Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. But you know, that's why I cross-list. Again, you just never know. Once you factor in Mercari's fees, that total drops to $102.44. My cost of goods for those 4 items was $15, and so my net profit on Mercari was $87.44. On Facebook Marketplace, I sold 3 items for a gross sales amount of $63.50. Once you factor in Facebook Marketplace's fees, that total drops to $59.21. My cost of goods was only $2.04 on those 3 items, and so my net profit was $55.17. I had one Depop sale for a total of $40. Once you factor in Depop's fees and shipping, that total drops to $37.47. My cost of goods was $9.99, and so my net profit on Depop was $27.48. In total, I sold 36 items, which is not very much. Usually I sell at least 40, so it's a little less than average. That was for a gross sales amount of $1,377.46. Once you factor in shipping and fees, that total drops to $1,101.69. I had $115.09 as my cost of goods, and so my net profit for the week was $986.60. However, if you don't want to count the profit from my laptop, that total drops to $649.06. Yeah, I don't know. Like 2022 is not off to the most amazing start. A lot of it also is because of the fact that I have not been listing consistently. It's just been too hard with my job and trying to do a little bit more with YouTube, but it's always hard finding that balance between YouTube and my course for people trying to grow their reselling YouTube channels and, you know, reselling. I mean, it's just a lot to juggle. And I feel like I always have seasons. Like I have seasons where I'm doing a lot more with reselling and YouTube takes a backseat or, you know, what have you. And again, my full-time job is my full-time job, and I have to make sure that I'm being faithful to that and doing what I need to there. So there's just a lot, but I mean, I'm thankful for the sales that I did have, and I'm hoping that your sales are amazing. So if you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit that like button so that YouTube knows that this is a video they should suggest to other resellers who are looking for this kind of content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your chance. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me as my eyes struggle to stay open because I'm so tired. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!